You're probably eating something right now that's quietly destroying your health. Not dramatically, not overnight, slowly, silently, every single day. It's called chronic inflammation, and food is its main fuel source. The scary part? Most of the foods causing it don't taste dangerous. They taste like breakfast, like lunch, like a snack you grab without thinking. By the end of this video, you'll know every single one, and you'll never look at your grocery cart the same way again. Here are the foods that are silently inflaming your body. What is inflammation, and why you should care? First, a quick foundation. Inflammation itself is not the enemy. Acute inflammation is your body's alarm system. You cut your finger, it swells, turns red, heals. That's good inflammation. That's your immune system doing its job. The problem is chronic inflammation. That's when the alarm never turns off. Low-grade, constant, invisible inflammation is linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer, autoimmune disorders, and accelerated aging. Not linked to some of these things. Linked to all of them. And the biggest driver in modern life? What you eat 3 times a day. Let's go through every culprit. Food number 1, seed oils. This is the big one most people never see coming. Seed oils, canola, soybean, corn, sunflower, safflower, cottonseed oil, are in almost everything processed. We're talking salad dressings, crackers, chips, restaurant food, frozen meals, fast food, protein bars. Here's the problem. These oils are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. Your body needs some omega-6, but the modern diet delivers a ratio of up to 20 to 1 omega-6 to omega-3. The ideal ratio is closer to 4 to 1. That imbalance triggers a cascade of pro-inflammatory compounds in your body. Prostaglandins, leukotrienes, cytokines, all of them cranking your immune system into overdrive for no reason. Seed oils also go through an industrial refining process involving high heat, chemical solvents, and deodorization. By the time the oil reaches your plate, it's oxidized, damaged, rancid at the molecular level, even if it doesn't smell that way. The rule is simple. If the oil was impossible to make without a factory, your body doesn't know what to do with it. Food number 2, refined sugar. Sugar doesn't just make you fat. It sets your body on fire. When you eat refined sugar, white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, glucose syrup, dextrose, your blood glucose spikes hard. Your pancreas rushes insulin. Your cells resist. Your liver starts converting the excess into fat. But here's the inflammation piece. High blood sugar directly triggers the release of inflammatory cytokines. It activates a molecular pathway called NF-kappa B, essentially the master switch of inflammation in the human body. Do this repeatedly every day, and that switch stays partially flipped on permanently. The average American consumes 17 teaspoons of added sugar per day. The recommended maximum is 6 for women, 9 for men. Sugar isn't just in candy and soda. It's in ketchup, pasta sauce, yogurt, bread, granola bars, and virtually every packaged snack. Read the label. It's hiding under 61 different names. Food number 3, refined and processed grains. This one surprises people. Whole wheat sounds healthy, but there's a massive difference between whole grains and what most people actually eat. White bread, white rice, white pasta, flour tortillas, most crackers and cereals. These are refined grains, stripped of fiber, bran, and nutrients during processing. What's left? Pure starch. Your body digests it almost identically to table sugar. The blood sugar spike is nearly the same. The insulin response is nearly the same. And the inflammatory response follows. Refined grains also have a high glycemic index. Eating them repeatedly keeps insulin elevated. Elevated insulin promotes body fat storage, particularly visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat that wraps around your organs and is itself a major source of inflammatory chemicals. A simple rule. If the bread is soft and white and lasts 2 weeks on a shelf, it's not your friend. Food number 4, trans fats. Trans fats are the most definitively proven inflammatory food on this list. Partially hydrogenated vegetable oils, the source of artificial trans fats, were in margarine, shortening, fried fast food, commercial baked goods, and countless packaged snacks for decades. Here's what trans fats do. They raise LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, lower HDL cholesterol, the good kind, and directly elevate C-reactive protein, the most widely used blood marker for systemic inflammation. The FDA officially banned artificial trans fats in 2018 in the US. But here's the catch: food manufacturers can still label a product 0G trans fat if it contains less than 0.5 grams per serving. And serving sizes are manipulated to keep the number under the limit. The ingredient to look for: partially hydrogenated oil. If you see it, the product contains trans fats regardless of what the front label says. Food number 5. Processed meats. Hot dogs, deli turkey, bacon, salami, pepperoni, bologna, canned meat products. Processed meats are preserved using nitrates, nitrites, high heat, and smoking. During processing and digestion, these compounds form nitrosamines, highly pro-inflammatory chemicals that have been classified as Group 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization. Processed meats also contain high levels of advanced glycation end products, AGEs. Compounds formed when proteins and fats are cooked at high heat. AGEs bind to receptors in your cells and directly activate inflammatory pathways. The more AGEs you accumulate, the faster you age, and the higher your baseline inflammation. Eating processed meat regularly, even just one serving a day, is consistently associated with higher rates of colorectal cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes across multiple large-scale studies. Food number 6. Artificial additives and ultra-processed ingredients. This category is broad, and it's everywhere. Artificial food dyes, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6. Preservatives like BHA, BHT, and sodium benzoate. Emulsifiers like carboxymethylcellulose and polysorbate 80. Flavor enhancers. Recent studies in the journal Nature found that common food emulsifiers directly damage the gut microbiome. They erode the mucus layer protecting your intestinal lining. When that lining breaks down, a condition called leaky gut or intestinal permeability, bacterial fragments pass into your bloodstream and trigger a full-blown inflammatory response. Your gut is 70% of your immune system. When your gut barrier breaks down, inflammation goes system-wide. The fast check. If a food has more than 5 ingredients and most of them aren't things you'd find in a kitchen, your gut is going to notice. Food number 7. Alcohol. Alcohol is processed inflammation in a bottle. When you drink, your liver converts alcohol into acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that damages liver cells and triggers inflammatory signaling throughout the body. The more you drink, the more your liver becomes inflamed. The more your liver becomes inflamed, the more the inflammation spreads systemically. Chronic alcohol use disrupts the gut microbiome, increases intestinal permeability, leaky gut again, and elevates levels of lipopolysaccharides, LPS, bacterial fragments in the bloodstream that act like inflammation grenades. Even moderate drinking, defined as 1 drink per day for women, 2 for men, has been shown in recent large-scale studies to measurably increase inflammatory markers compared to non-drinkers. The old narrative about red wine and resveratrol protecting your heart? The science no longer holds up at typical drinking levels. Food number 8. Fast food and ultra-processed combinations. This is where all the previous categories combine into one perfect storm. A single fast food meal often contains seed oils, refined grains, refined sugar, trans fat traces, processed meat, and artificial additives, all in one sitting. Ultra-processed foods, defined by the NOVA classification system as industrial formulations with 5 or more ingredients including additives, now make up over 60% of calories consumed by the average American. A landmark 2019 study in the BMJ followed over 100,000 people and found that every 10% increase in ultra-processed food consumption was associated with a 12% increase in cancer risk alone, separate from obesity, smoking, and other factors. This isn't a coincidence. It's inflammation compounding daily. You've now seen 8 different food categories, but here's what ties them all together. Every single one of them shares at least one of 3 traits. 1. They spike blood sugar and insulin, keeping your inflammatory switch on. 2. They damage the gut lining, letting bacterial fragments into your bloodstream. 3. They flood your body with foreign chemical compounds it has no evolutionary tools to process. Your immune system was never designed for a diet of industrial seed oils, refined starches, artificial preservatives, and processed meat. Every time you eat these things, your body treats it like a low-level threat, and it responds accordingly. The fix? Quick version. This doesn't require a perfect diet. It requires swapping the highest damage items first. Replace seed oils with olive oil, butter, coconut oil, or avocado oil. Replace refined grains with whole grains, oats, sweet potatoes, or legumes. Cut added sugar from drinks first. That's the fastest reduction. Swap processed meats for whole cuts of unprocessed meat. Read ingredient labels. 5 ingredients or fewer is a reliable filter. You don't have to overhaul everything at once. You just have to start seeing these foods for what they actually are. Your body is inflaming right now. The question is, are you still going to feed it the fire? If you made it this far, you already know more about food and inflammation than 95% of people do. Now do something with it. Drop a comment. Which food on this list surprised you most? And if you want the full anti-inflammatory grocery list, every food that fights inflammation instead of causing it, comment anti-inflame and I'll make that video next. Like, subscribe, and don't forget, everything explained.